What if I told you that the key to transforming your relationship in 2025 doesn't lie in changing your partner or finding a new one, but in changing yourself? Now, don't take this personally. This is actually the most empowering thing you will ever discover in love. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the critical shift I made that not only saved my relationship, but actually made it better than I could have ever imagined. So if you've been feeling stuck or frustrated in your relationship, you definitely need to hear this. Hi everyone, Nicole here, relationship coach for high-achieving women. I'm all about guiding you towards your happily ever after and helping you tackle the tough stuff in love with grace and wisdom. Let me take you back a few years to when my relationship hit rock bottom. I was completely head over heels for my partner, and we had an amazing connection at first. But after a while, it felt like it was all slipping through my fingers. We started having less fun together, our communication got really bad, and we would literally argue like all the time. I noticed that my partner was becoming more distant with work, playing video games all the time, and even taking on bad habits that made me feel really disconnected from him. I remember once we had plans to go out for like a little day trip during the weekend to this quaint neighboring village just outside our city, and we were going to bring our electric skateboards with us. We love electric skateboarding, by the way, and we were gonna like cruise around and hit up the local coffee shops and go down, like it's a little historic village, so we were going to go down the main street and look at the little shops and boutiques and stuff. And it wasn't even like 11 a.m. that morning, and we were already arguing. And you can never tell, right? Like I posted photos about this on social media, and just looking at it from the outside, I'm sure you can never tell that, we were struggling. So the thing is, I felt during that time like I was doing everything that I could to save the relationship or fix the relationship or change things, but nothing was changing. And it was frustrating, it was exhausting, and honestly, it was breaking me inside. I couldn't understand why our relationship wasn't the dream that I thought it would be, especially because we started off so strong. That's actually when I had an epiphany that completely changed my perspective. And what I realized with the help of some incredible support was that I had been seeing the problem in completely the wrong way. Like I had been blaming my partner for everything that wasn't working. But when I started to look at my own role in the relationship, I began to see things differently. I actually discovered that I had so much more power to shift the dynamic than I had ever realized. And I always share with women who come into my world and work with me that the first piece of advice I ever got was to look at what the vibe was when my partner came home from work. That's like a classic example you'll see, you'll find out there if you do your own research. But what does it look like when your partner comes home? This is something you can totally influence. So here's the thing. Our relationships don't just happen to us. They are a reflection of what we bring to them. And once I took responsibility for the energy I was bringing to the table, things started to change quickly. There were three key things that were actually stopping me from seeing my own power in the relationship, and maybe you've thought about these too. First, I just thought that I needed to find the right person and that everything would fall into place. And I did find my dream man. So of course I had that expectation. I thought love would automatically make everything easy and better because so many people talk about how, it shouldn't be this hard and whatnot. But I learned that no relationship is perfect. It takes work from both sides, but actually only one person needs to initiate the shift for change to happen. So I had to stop waiting for perfection and accept that if things weren't going the way I desired them to, it's likely because I was doing something wrong. And guess what? I was. Second, I was stuck in the mindset that everything was my partner's fault. I know. I just thought, if he would just communicate better or show more affection or understand me more or validate me more or whatnot, then I'd be happy. But the harsh truth is my partner's behavior was not the cause of my unhappiness. I was. So my reactions, my expectations, my emotional patterns, emotions, all of that contributed to the dynamic between us. And when I took ownership of that, everything started to change. And I'm always very open about the fact that my husband refused couples therapy. So for me, it felt really hopeless. That seems to be the gold standard that everyone, goes to when they're struggling in the relationship. It's like, okay, well, you go to couples therapy. Well, what about us who have partners that aren't open to that idea, right? They want to fix things on our own, or they want to, try a different approach, or they're just not willing to look at that, right? What happens to us? And I felt really hopeless. A lot of people will say, well, that's a red flag in itself. But actually, once you understand your own power in the relationship and also the power of mirror neurons, then you really discover that there are many things that you can do to improve your circumstances. Third, I thought that I should be accepted just as I was. And to some degree, yes, like you should be loved for who you are. But what I realized was that I wasn't being my whole true self, right? Like I wasn't showing up fully anymore. I wasn't communicating my true feelings, my true needs, and my true desires because I was always walking on eggshells. I was literally waiting for my partner to kind of figure me out or be in a good mood, but I hadn't even figured out myself yet, and I hadn't even worked on navigating my own moods, right? My own emotions. And most importantly, I had stopped being the version of the person that he fell in love with. The person, at the beginning of the relationship who was playful, who liked to have fun, who took care of herself. And I had become someone completely taken over by our external circumstances, right? By work, and we have kids, right? So all those other, day-to-day life things were what were influencing how I showed up and my mood and even how I reacted in my relationship. And I was always thinking, well, if my partner, can be happy and everything be okay with him, and then if everything can be okay with kids and work and whatnot, then I wouldn't be happy, right? I would have time to show up, and take care of myself, or I would be able to focus on that because I wouldn't be preoccupied by these other things. But like I said earlier, I was coming at it backwards, right, from the wrong approach. Now that you know your role in the relationship is powerful, here's what I want you to do next. I want you to start by taking full responsibility for your own energy and how you show up. So stop waiting for someone else or your partner to change, and instead focus on your own growth. And I've got a ton of videos on my channel to help you do exactly that. So go binge them after you watch this video, okay? And no matter what, no matter how tough things get, remember there's always something that you can do to make things better. I'm not suggesting you stay in a relationship that's toxic or dangerous, but there's always something that you can do. And if you're ready to start this journey and create a happier, healthier relationship in 2025, I want you to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I've got a ton of great content coming your way that will help you transform your love life. And if you found this particular video helpful, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're going to do to take your power back in your relationship. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to catch this one next.